Alrighty, welcome. I would like to have some conversation about the upcoming new moon in Gemini, which is also a solar eclipse. And I'd like to talk a little bit about eclipses while we have this conversation, mostly because I'm seeing a lot of misinformation, and I've had a lot of questions about the eclipse, what the eclipse season means. Wow, all right, we'll take them both. And so I just kind of want to share a little bit of information about eclipses and astrology and energy. So I have seen a lot of things that say the annual solar eclipse, and that is absolutely not what this eclipse is. Eclipses are called annular, and that is, it goes back to the Greek words for ring-shaped, right? And this is a description of the pattern that eclipses make, right? And so eclipses are measured, sort of, I guess the word measured, termed, grouped, jumbled, identified by, there we go, a thing called the Soros cycle, and that is literally just the Greek word for cycle, so it's a cycle, right? However, so a Soros cycle is a period of, it's 18 years, 11 days, and 8 hours, or 6,585 days, 0.3, right, 0.3 days. And so they are grouped in numbers. This annular solar eclipse that happens on the 10th of June happens in the 147 Soros cycle. The last time we witnessed this cycle was the 31st of May 2003, and so you might contemplate what was going on in your life at the end of May 2003 and how that relates to your life now, and then contemplate the next time we will see this cycle is the 21st of June 2039. So we also just had a lunar eclipse, and that one happens to be, I think it's in the 121st, yeah, 121st, the lunar cycle, and that was a throwback to May the 15th, 2003, and it cycles into June the 6th of 2039. So, right, the cycles are very predictable, right? They're very predictable, and so they happen. We have eclipses that happen every year, but they are, again, annular, not annual, right? It's just how it works. So let's talk about what eclipse energy really is, shall we please? So an eclipse is just kind of supercharged new or full moon energy. And here's the deal. Eclipses always happen on the full or new moon. The lunar cycle that just happened on the full moon in Sagittarius, right? 5 Sagittarius was our last lunar eclipse on the 26th of May. This new moon that happens at 19 Gemini on the 10th of June is the annular solar eclipse. And it's a pretty doggone big deal, guys, because it is conjunct Mercury, which is in retrograde, and it's squaring Neptune, and Mars is sitting at 29 degrees Cancer. Now, so let's put it this way. Right now, what is happening is that we have a very extra powerful new moon, right? This is what eclipses offer, right? A supercharged either new or full moon cycle. And so what that means to a new moon, which is this moon right here, is that you have a broader, more powerful opportunity to plant seeds and sow your intentions. How can you best utilize the eclipse energy? Great question. Here's how. In this kind of energy, the most productive way to make your intentions really clearly, all right, manifested, oh boy, are to find the house in your chart where the eclipse occurs. And so this eclipse is happening at 19 Gemini. And so if you find your natal chart and you look to see where 19 Gemini is in your particular chart, you will have the best idea of how to shape your intentions for the most useful 18-year cycle that you possibly could have, right? So let's do this. If that eclipse falls in your first house, you might shape your intentions around yourself, your character, your appearance, your body. If it falls in your second house, you might contemplate how that will be able to shape your ideas about resource. Wow. Or possessions. Third house, communications or self-expression. Fourth house, home, family, roots, your private life. Fifth house, creativity, pleasure, creation, recreation. Fourth house, work, health, service. Seventh house. Did I say fourth house just a second ago? Sixth house, work, health, service. Yes. Seventh house, relationships, one-on-one relationships, right? How you relate to other. Eighth house, death, transformation, deep union. Ninth house, higher learning, philosophy, how you relate to the abstractions. 10th house, career, reputation, your actions in the world. 11th house, community, groups, the collective. Or 12th house, karma, loss. The concept of service or suffering, right? And so wherever that 19 Gemini is in your chart, right? Find that place in the house. And if you're saying, Eileen, where do I find my natal chart? I personally, I have Solar Fire, but I also love astro.com for free information. They don't pay me. I just love them. So you can go to astro.com, plug in your birth information, and find where 19 Gemini is located in your chart and feel into what that means to you for the next 18 years and really utilize this energy, right? We are squaring Neptune, right? So you have the opportunity to really pull from your subconscious. Conjunct Mercury retrograde, communication from those depths, and Mars at 29 Cancer, right? How can I best express my energy of home, right? What feels like home to me, and how can I create that in my life? And so those are things that you can contemplate in terms of what you want to really put into motion for the next 18 years, 11 days, and 8 hours, right? So let's have a conversation. So we've got the Fool and the Page of Wands. The Fool is a card of faith, right? What better beautiful way to embrace one's journey at the beginning of an 18-year lunar cycle. And remember that this is in Gemini, so this is every possibility, every potential is available to you, right? And as this is conjunct Mercury in retrograde, this is how can I express this, not just in the world, but to myself, right? So beautiful, just beautiful potential. So we got the Page of Wands. This is messages or people or events or synchronicities in your life that could symbolize things for you, right? This is about messages that inspire, messages that create passion in your life and experience. The ways that you receive those messages, right? And what you do with them. The Fool, as that card of faith, really just accepts the fact that everything is taken care of, right? No matter what, I'm good to go. And I understand that I'm always supported in this decision because I'm following my heart. I'm following my passion. Beautiful. And so we've got the Six of Swords, or the Six of Wands, and the Seven of Swords, right? The Six of Swords is victory. The Seven of Swords is about, it's about deception, but it's also about looking back, right? I like to witness this as in its breakdown. So the Seven of Swords is a conflict or is a card of like deception, and it can be self-deception. And I think it's important to note that when we talk about swords energy, we're talking about thoughts and ideas, right? Especially in this Gemini new moon. And so as we are really contemplating, right, the Two of Swords represents that indecision, that not quite confusion, but feeling torn, feeling conflicted about a conversation or a decision specifically, right? An idea, a way something should be. And Five of Swords is generally about conflict. But see, he's holding all these swords himself. So this conflict is with himself, right? So this is an ideological conflict. And the Six of Wands is about victory, right? It's about claiming your victory after not necessarily battle, but after having had to defend yourself or create something that made you stand out from the competition, right? And sometimes it's our ideas that get in our way of our victories, right? We know how to get there. We just have to overcome what's in our head. Gemini new moon, right? So we've got the Tower and the Nine of Cups. The Tower, of course, is cataclysmic change. It's fundamental shift. And as we just had that Mars opposition to Pluto, there are some things that we get to dig up. And sometimes what we find buried in the depths allows us to come into our own, right? The Nine of Cups is a card of wish fulfillment. It's a card of self-satisfaction, right? It's a card of knowing that you are emotionally resourced simply because you've chosen to be emotionally resourced, because you've done that work, right? And then you have enough to share. So this might just be how you reshape your ideas in order to understand that what looks like disaster is actually service to yourself, right? The way that you believed a thing was, and the way that you held on to the conflict could have been in the way of your victory, and simply by recognizing it as such, you get to claim it and start brand new, right? In alignment with your heart, with your passion, with the juice that wants to come into your life, right? So we've got the Two of Pentacles and the Queen of Cups. The Two of Pentacles, it's that juggler energy, right? It's like there's some emotional stability, but she's got this, right? She's balanced in the face of, she's weighing her options, right? And as we talked about this Two up here, this is about balance. It's about bringing things into balance, right? Pentacles are about resources, and as we know, we talk a lot about it, it's tangible or intangible. It's about what you have in your hand or what you have in your heart, what you have in your wallet, what you have in your bank account of your soul, right? And so as this one is clarified by the Queen of Cups, this is asking you to really dig in to that emotional stability, that emotional embodiment, right? The Queen of Cups is about being fully in your emotional realm, right? Understanding that it's safe, and not only safe, but preferable to feel your feelings, to be in them, no matter how it feels, right? And sometimes how it feels is not exactly how it really is. Sometimes things feel harder than they actually are because we're in resistance, when our victory is simply on the other side of acceptance, right? So whether this is someone bringing you a cup, or whether it's you experiencing it in that moment of faith, right? Knowing that you have your capacity to balance, that you're always on solid ground, no matter what is happening behind you, right? Being that calm center amid chaos is always what we're really shooting for. And sometimes our thoughts get in the way of that. And then out here, y'all, we have the King of Wands and we have the Two of Cups. So as we have the King of Wands is the master of his passion. He is the master of his motivated energy, right? And what does it mean to be the master of your passionate energy, right? That means to be dedicated, right? Because we know that motivation is fleeting. Motivation lasts for a little while, but dedication is what gets you where you need to go, right? It's how you do those things day after day. And you maintain over time the steady smolder of your passion that allows you to keep going toward victory, no matter what your brain tells you, right? That allows you to step off and know that everything will be provided for you, that allows you to weather tower moments in your lives, knowing that no matter what, you are emotionally balanced and you have the resources to stay in your emotional balance no matter what. And then we have the Two of Cups, which is a card of love, right? This is a card of love. It's union. It's divine, blessed love. It is that one-to-one relationship. So depending on where this falls in your chart, there's a whole lot of ways to contemplate what's coming in for you, right? But as always, it's about getting out of your own way and allowing what the universe is trying to bring you, to give you, to ask you to do, to create in your life for your benefit, to bloom, to manifest. I mean, the universe is going to tell you over and over and over and over again. And if you don't listen, it's going to show you. So perhaps it's best just to listen so that you can step in to this absolutely gorgeous energy. I mean, you have 18 years to let it bloom. Get out of your own way, right? There's a lot of duality energy in here, right? We're talking about this two over here, this Two of Pentacles, the Two of Cups. And so, of course, we have the great balancing, right? And what is the great balancing, right? Well, in Eileen Land, we talk about karma as the great balancer. And, you know, the other thing that I did want to mention is that 3 of these Soros cycles make a 54-year turn of what they call the Soros wheel. And so, you know, it's always interesting to realize that as you come into each cycle, something shifts and changes, right? By degrees, by longitude and latitude, and it makes all the difference, right? Eclipses are something small having a great effect on something big. And we know that sometimes that's really all it takes, right? A little tiny thing that changes everything. So let's read about the Angel of Love, shall we? Since we have all this beautiful energy about love and emotions and new journeys and destinations, about victory after getting out of your way. And we've got the Queen of Cups, who is, of course, the Queen of Love. So we have the Angel of Love, tender connections. This beautiful angel comes with roses in her hair and rose-colored wings. She holds a rose quartz heart, radiating tender and loving vibrations, bringing you compassion and affection. If you're looking for a new love, this angel brings you a message of its upcoming approach. Or if you're longing for a deeper, more intimate connection with someone already in your life, she's here to say that far greater tenderness is available to you. Either way, remember that your first intention for tenderness must be directed inward, and the compassion that you demonstrate toward yourself will influence the energetic potential of these events in a significant way. The angel of love is smiling on you and forging connections in the energetic realm. So again, as you sit with this new moon energy at this annular solar eclipse at 19 Gemini, please make sure that you are working with the energy correspondent to the house that this eclipse is going to take place in. And remember that what you're planting, right, we just had Mars opposite Pluto, we just had Neptune square this Mercury retrograde, and this eclipse is going to be square Neptune conjunct Mercury retrograde, adding again to the depths of those two aspects. And if you didn't listen, you can go listen to a little bit more information about them if you'd like. That might give you a little bit more depth and breadth in how those two aspects can affect this cycle as well, because they're really just asking you to dive as deeply as possible, right? Root yourself all the way down as far as you can go, where you're impervious to any interruptions or interference, not just from your own self, but from the external world as well. And so you can really feel into that passion, that emotion, and find where your balance is, right? It seems like there's some stuff going on, y'all, so take advantage. Big, giant new moon blessings. Yeah. Take care.